So with my dad, we have taken things into our own hands and we are sorting everything because one thing I can tell you about my family, we do not like messes.
The wood is hardwood, so why to throw it in the garbage? It takes a little bit of effort, but we were thinking maybe to use it in the hotel. It is not just a piece of wood. For us, it's history. I bought my first rifle when I was 11 years old, and this is how we used to practice our aim.
Alrighty guys, good morning from the construction site. We are currently standing in front of the chalet right back there. And as you can see, we have a giant pile of rubble in front of us, a huge mountain of rubble. This is everything that came out of the chalet during the renovation process. So we've got all sorts of things in this pile of rubble, like bricks, concrete, cement, wood, tiles, ceramics, just a bit of everything, and it's quite chaotic. Now, the thing is, the builder said he was going to clean this up, and that has not happened, and we do not foresee it happening. So with my dad, we have taken things into our own hands, and we are sorting everything, and we are tidying this place up, because one thing I can tell you about my family, we do not like messes. Okay, now we're going to do another little show and tell, showing basically the bathroom fixtures, tubs, toilet, bidet, lavatories.
Well, these are the things that were removed from the house. Some of them, like for instance, this cabinet for the washroom. This is original. Okay, this is from the 1940s, and even has the key. Look at it.
Tiny little key.
With the original string.
And we can't open it right now. I think it's a little rusty, but maybe some WD-40 will work its magic.
And look at the glass over here. What do you call this? Biselado in English. It has a name for it. I don't know. If you can tell us in the comments when they do the edge of the mirror. That
like a relief?
Yeah. You look at it. It's amazing. It's amazing how they, I forgot the name in English, sorry, but some things they just escape. Then we have the sinks, and this one is something, this is original, this is the tub. It's very heavy, but if I flip it around someplace, they should be the marking made in England or made in Germany, because when this house was built, they did not produce this type of product here in Argentina, okay? And that's another little bit of work for the people that are watching this video. What do we do with this tub? We want to preserve as much as possible the history and, the things that we remove from this place, but we don't know what to do with this tub. So there you have a little bit of work and to think and to give us ideas. If we leave it outside, it's going to rust and it's going to decay and it's going to be lost. It is huge and it's a monster of...
Yeah, the only reason we took it out is because we were thinking of putting a shower, since we do experience water shortages.
Yeah.
So who's going to be taking a bath?
Not many people.
No.
But I'm telling you, it weighs a ton. Another thing, yesterday I was cleaning this out, removing all the nails. This is the wood that was removed from the roof. And I was talking with the carpenter the other day, and he was telling me that this is some sort of an exotic wood that is not commercialized anymore. It's not allowed to be...
you can't log it?
You cannot log this kind of wood in Argentina anymore. So we're going to clean them up. Eventually we're going to send them to be cleaned, and we're going to try to repurpose all this wood. Here I found buried yesterday. Look at this beam. This wood is called, I think in English and in Spanish is incienso. In English is incense. Incense. That's the stuff that when you go to church and they pass, with with a thing that makes the smoke and you smell it. Okay, this is the type of wood. If you use a drill bit and you drill this, as you're drilling, the smell comes right out. The smell never disappears. This is another type of wood that is extremely hard to find, and this beam is a monster that I think was the main beam of the roof, and we're gonna need maybe 6 guys to move it. Same as all of this. Okay, this is the roof structure. A lot of good wood here, also incense, and we're gonna bring it over to the hotel to put it under roof in the bottom part of the construction that is not finished, so we can protect it against the elements, and it doesn't get rotten. Everything is going to be repurposed and reused, not right away, but eventually we'll find what to do with this, and it's not going to go to waste, or it's not going to end up in a fireplace or anything like that. This is history 100%, and given the fact that these woods are exotic woods and hard to find today, we're going to preserve. So let's go see something else. Come.
So this is what we've been working on this morning. These pieces of wood were just piled up in the mud. What do you call these in English? It goes along the edge of the floor, and some of it's for the roof as well.
Okay, the ones that go along the edge of the floor, which are those are the either baseboards or shoe mold.
Yes.
We are going to recoup to use them inside the house. So we need to bring them to the carpenter and have them a little bit of a planing done, scrape off all the dirt and stuff like that, and this is really good quality wood. The rest, it was tongue and groove, and this was the ceiling part of the kitchen and the washroom, and they were piled up here already covered with dirt and sand, and they were getting wet and eventually rotten, but I think we caught them on time. We're going to have them dry one side today, the other side tomorrow, and then we'll bring them under storage over there with the rest of the wood. This is all historical material for us, so we're not going to throw anything out. As much as we can recoup and refurbish and reuse, we're going to be doing that.
So now we're going to give you a little update on the floors, the original floors that we pulled out of the chalet, because my dad's been hard at work all of yesterday. You just did this yesterday. Yeah. But we're going to show you how he separated everything, because again, floors are being reused in a different construction, but they aren't going to waste, as he said.
This is called lapacho wood. I don't know in English the translation, but you can look it up in Google if you're interested to know. That's another wood that is not commercialized anymore. They're not allowed to cut these trees. They're protected. That's what the carpenter told me. And this is what was inside the house. This is original floor. In the backing has tar, and then on top of that it had all this that was stuck to it. Mm-hmm. So yesterday with a screwdriver and this, that's my hammer. Mm-hmm. Okay, I was able to clear these 2 mounds. Now, this is not just a piece of wood, it's just a piece of flooring. For us, it's history. It's the original floor that Audrey's grandfather installed in this property, and we need to do something with this. We need to recoup. And we were thinking that eventually giving it a nice sanding, and I remember when it was installed and we used to wax it and shine it and polish it. Oh, this floor was a marvel, the color, and the wood is hardwood, So why to throw it in the garbage? It takes a little bit of effort, but we were thinking maybe to use it in the hotel. Mm-hmm. There is an area that is going to be like the reception, which is not finished. The floors are not there. And maybe we don't have enough to do the whole thing, but maybe we could do like a nice border around between the ceramics, or maybe like a nice square in the middle of the room, or if not, you give us an idea. We'll give you a little bit of homework here. What do we do with this? These are the floors that your grandmother, your grandfather, Nana, all of these people walked, and they're not here anymore, so history.
we've been sorting the rubble. This right here is our pile of bricks and cement. And then if we move over here, these concrete slabs with like gravel, this is what the wooden floors were stuck to. So we had to separate the wooden tiles from this. They were stuck with this like black tar-like material. So that was quite a bit of work. My dad did all of that. Like this whole pile you see here, he separated this from each individual wooden tile by hand. So we cleaned them off, we sanded them down. They've gone into storage because we do have a plan for that wood. It is going to find new life elsewhere on the property. And then what else? The tiles. The tiles that we removed from the entryway and also from the kitchen. Those types of tiles are called baldosas. These are really dirty, but this one actually has a reddish wine color. These are the ones that came out of the entryway. And then we have these ones that came out of the kitchen. So we are stacking all of these up here. So if we go back to some of the earlier renovation videos before we started with the flooring, you might remember that we actually wanted to reuse these tiles. Like I wanted to keep the floors intact in the whole house. But we had a bit of a problem because a lot of water had filtered into the house. It had affected the subflooring, which had sunk down. So we had to lift the tiles. There was no other alternative. And then once we started lifting the tiles, many of them broke, which meant we no longer had enough tiles to cover the whole floor. So another little issue I'm going to show you, when the tiles came off, they were stuck to these chunks of cement. Like, I don't know what they used here. It looks like they used concrete to stick down these tiles. So let me show you. It looked like this. And now this is a little complicated to work with to reinstall because you need to chip away these blocks that shouldn't be there. So that was another little issue we encountered. So all this to say, that is why we have installed new flooring in the whole house. But I think we can get creative with these tiles. We can probably use them elsewhere, or we have some art projects in mind for the future. So yeah, we'll see about that. But now we need to get back to clearing the rubble, and we've also got, you know, water tanks and furniture and just a lot of random stuff that we need to sort. All right, we found a little something interesting here.
We found a little memento.
Oh, okay.
As we clean and as we go around, I'm going to be talking to you about the history and what we used to do in this property when we were young. And here, between all the rubble, I found, look, these are the covers of the pipe that was exiting the smoke for the cooking stove. We used to have a wood-burning cooking stove and the fireplace. And you see the holes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I bought my first rifle when I was 11 years old, and this is how we used to practice our aim, you know. This was on top of the roof, and we used to try and hit it from far away, so we had to keep sharp. This is one.
Like real cowboys. Can you imagine at 11 with a rifle shooting at your own house?
Yeah, there's the other one. You see the holes?
Yeah.
Okay, those are all bullet holes made probably by me, maybe some by my brother too, mosquito. And the thing is that back then we used to go to the movies and watch those spaghetti westerns with Clint Eastwood, and they were the Italian made, eh? And then we used to come over here and we wanted to mimic what we saw in the films. And then, we would just sharpen our aim. And then there is a door down there where we have the pump house for the water, where there was a motor there. And on the frame of the door, there is a big hole. My brother had a slug, a cartridge with a slug. And he went up on the hill over there and he wanted to see the effect of that slug. And he shot at the door and hit it on the door frame. Wild West.
Wild boys, cowboys.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're standing here next to the old kitchen cabinet that was dumped on the front yard, full of things, full of little treasures we have found.
Full of history. These are the pots that we had when we were kids. And this is back in the days when we were really small, the milkman used to come house to house. He had a cart with a horse, and inside he carried these containers for the milk. And to my mother, she always used to buy around 4 liters of milk every day. But in those days, the milk was not
Pasteurized,
was raw. So we had to boil it before we could consume. And this was the pot where we used to boil the milk. We put it on the stove, and one of the kids was always right next to the stove waiting for the milk to start boiling and to start, lifting up. You know how milk is, eh? And we'll then call my mom. Mom, it's starting to boil. She will come and turn off the stove. So this was the one for the milk, for boiling the milk. Then we have a smaller one. Look, a bronze with aluminum. And then we had the other one here. This I remember was the one where my mom used to cook all the stew. When she made a beef stew, or sometimes we'll go fishing and bring like a nice fish, and she would cook it in here with potatoes and parsley and garlic and stuff like that. This was the one that she used for stew. These ones are like 70 years old, maybe, like she bought them before we were born. So this is history. Also, we found the big tray. Look, the enamel. Back in the days, they used to use enamel. This is the one that when we ate over there, my mom used to make the big spaghetti here with the sauce with some pine mushrooms. And we'll go hunting with my brother at night and bring biscacha. Well, you can look it up in Google to see what kind of an animal is, something that lives underground. We'll go hunt, and delicious. It's like eating turkey. White meat, beautiful. And the mound of spaghettis with the sauce, with the mushrooms, and on the side, the pieces of meat from the biscacha. So this is where we used to enjoy the meals back then, These were the jars where when the economy of the family was kind of tough, my mother used to make homemade plum jam and fill these ones up. And I remember going with my twin sister to a small grocery store that I used to buy from my mother. She'll fill it up to the rim, and we'll take this to the store, and the owner of the store put it on top of the counter, and he'll sell jam or marmalade by the gram, bulk, and they'll pay us for whatever it was that we brought him. So this was a very small source of income, but every little bit helped back then. So yeah, we have 2 of these that survived. So I guess if we ever do a family museum, we have a whole bunch of things that we could put in there. And then as you could see, I'm finding myself all this family history right now, just sharing it with you as it happens.